Hello and welcome back to my reading of my original novel, Nature's Culling. In this video I'm going to read chapter 4 out loud. As usual, you're welcome to just put your phone in your pocket or lay it on a table or something like that. If you have your phone with you, then you can just put it somewhere and just listen while I read this story to you. Now I'm going to read chapter 4, the reaction chapter. He needed to go, Kenny. You know that. Kenny grimaces but nods. I know. It's just the worst timing ever. Yeah, Penelope agrees. It is. But he didn't have a choice. Too bad that he couldn't just do a video consultation. Penelope nods, bowing her head. Agreed. After a moment of silence, she goes on. We can't do nothing else but take up precautions. That's wrong. A double negative is not good. We can't do anything else but take our precautions. Yeah, Kenny nods slowly. I just hope that it'll turn out that it wasn't necessary. Penny hugs him. A tear forms in her eyes, but she wipes it away. He hasn't even come back yet. There's no way of knowing whether he's gotten it or not until a week has passed. You heard the news, Pen. If you go into town or if you meet people that you haven't been in isolation with, you run a big risk. The damn virus is everywhere. Penny grimaces. Yeah, I know. My aunt and uncle have gotten it too. My mom would like to visit her sister, but under these circumstances it's best to stay away. At least until it's supposed to be safe. Safe, Kenny snorts. It's not ever going to be safe to go out there again, Pen. Penelope grimaces. I'm afraid you're right, but what can we do? Nothing. That's exactly my point. Kenny clears his throat and wipes his face, body shuddering. Man, I just can't bear the thought that he might have gotten the damn virus. I'm hoping for the best too, Penelope says in a soft voice, but getting the virus isn't always a death sentence. No, Kenny shakes his head. Not always, but most often it is. Penelope shivers and hugs Kenny close. I wish that there were no diseases in the world at all. Me too, babe, me too. They stand there hugging each other in silence for a moment, then someone knocks on the door, breaking their hug. Kenny frowns. I don't hope it's strangers knocking. Penelope doesn't reply to that. Instead, she walks out into the hallway. Through the matted glass in the door, she can recognize Melody's silhouette. Penelope unlocks the door and opens it. Outside, Melody's smiling face looks at her. Hi, Melody says softly. I hope I'm not disturbing you. Not at all, Penny says. Good. Melody looks uncomfortable for a moment, then says, I hope it's all right that I come over to get a few things. Of course. Penny nods and lets Melody enter. Like Penny and Kenny, Melody has been in isolation. None of them has broken the isolation for 2 weeks, so they should all be in the clear. Melody enters, head bowed low as if she doesn't dare look Penny in the eyes. I'm sorry to bother you, but it'll only be a minute. It's all right, Melody. Just tell me what you need and I'll get it for you. Melody breathed in a long, shaky breath. We need milk, eggs, toilet paper, detergent, and new toothbrushes. You've got it, Penny says. She pats Melody gently on the shoulder, and she sends her a small smile before she walks off to find the things Melody requested. When Kenny walks into the hallway, Melody just stands there, seeming nervous or maybe apologetic. Kenny walks over to her but doesn't touch her like Penny did. He smiles at her. Know how long till he'll be back? Melody shrugs. No, it might be an hour yet. You know you're welcome to stay here with us while he's in isolation, right? Melody meets his gaze. For a moment she seems surprised. Oh, sure, I know, but it's okay. He's my closest friend. Besides you and Penny, of course. If I get sick, it's just too bad. Just too bad? Kenny raises an eyebrow. How can you be so relaxed about this? Aren't you afraid of catching the virus? Melody shrugs. Maybe. But I figure it's not worth worrying that much about it. I'm in isolation and we're all careful, but it gets a bit lonesome. I miss my family. Kenny frowns and crosses his arms. That's understandable. If you miss them, you can go and see them. Melody sends him a weak smile. I know. I guess I could, but if I leave, I can't come back. Yes, Kenny counters. You can. Melody sends him a small smile. But I just have to be really careful and stay in isolation. I would go crazy. Kenny shrugs. I guess I understand that, but at least you could move around, do stuff during the day. Melody smiles sympathetically at him. I know. I'm glad your leg is doing better. Me too, Kenny grins. Me too. Melody's small smile grows bigger. I'm glad that you don't rely on us that much anymore. Kenny frowns. What do you mean? Melody shrugs. It's fall. Not that busy this time of year. Not that many customers to buy stuff either. Yeah, Kenny exhales deeply but slowly. I know. I've been thinking about cutting down. We could make do with a smaller ranch. Melody grins at him. What would you do with all that spare time, though? Kenny laughs softly. I guess you have a point. His voice trails off. After a few moments, he breaks the silence. Penny suggested it earlier this week that maybe we shouldn't produce that much, but you're holding out for better days, Melody suggests. Yeah, Kenny nods, rubbing his cheek. Business is slow, but in these times, who needs money anyway? Melody smiles. People who get paid money for their work appreciate it, though. Kenny laughs. I guess so. Sorry. He shakes his head. It's just... I've been thinking about how large I want my ranch to be, which is optimistic during this pandemic. But I've started thinking more about how little it can be and still be enough to pay the bills and get us by. It can probably be smaller than you think and still be enough. Kenny grimaces. I know. I just don't want to struggle. Penny and I rely on what we produce, and so do you and Walt. Melody takes a deep breath. With a small sigh, she says, I'll be leaving. Leaving? Yeah. When? Now? No. Melody smiles and sends him a strange look. Not right now. Walt might gonna need me. I hope he won't, but no matter what, I want to be there for him. Being in isolation is hard enough as it is. I want to do this last thing for him and for you and Penny before I leave. You don't need to leave the ranch, Melody. Melody nods. I know. But I want to. I know I could come back and stay in the house like Walt and I are going to do, but then what? I don't want to live my life in fear and solitude. We were isolated enough already before the virus. I don't want to be afraid of going to see my family and friends. Kenny grimaces but nods. I guess I understand. Do you? Melody frowns. Do you really? You and Penny seem to be very content with living here in isolation. A small smile forms on Kenny's face. I guess we are pretty content with it, yeah. I guess you're right. But it's not bad. For us, it's not that different now compared to before the outbreak. Maybe that's why we've all made it this far without getting the virus. Kenny nods. I'm not in any doubt that that's the explanation. Melody nods too. Once Penny has found the stuff I asked for, I'll be out of your hair. I won't come back until it's safe. We should be good for the next 2 weeks, but if we should need something, I'll just give you a call. That's all right. You're always welcome to call. Penelope walks into the hallway, a puzzled look on her face. Yes, Kenny is right. You're always welcome to call. Penelope bends down and sets the box of things on the floor between them. When she stands up again, Kenny turns and looks at her. Did you hear it? Melody is leaving. What? Penny exclaims. I hope we haven't done anything to... No, Melody says, holding up her hands. It's not that. You've been nothing but kind and welcoming. You might be a bit suspicious and overly careful, but in these times, caution is a good thing. Melody pauses for a moment, then adds, I'm not leaving now. Later, when we no longer need to be in isolation. Penny looks skeptically from Kenny to Melody. Did you tell her that she's welcome to stay here with us? Yes, Melody says. He told me, and it's very kind of you, but I want to be there with him. After 6 years, that house is my home, and Walt is a good friend. I'd like to be there for him too, Kenny says. There's a shadow over his face, but his voice is clear. If we didn't need to be careful, I'd live in that house with you. Me too, Penny chimes in. But, Kenny goes on, we need to stay here, live separately, until the coast is clear. When will the coast ever be clear? Penny asks. That's what I told him too, Melody says. But until there's a cure or everyone has been infected and survived it by being naturally immune, it won't be safe to go anywhere. And even though I like to live here at this ranch with you guys, it's not where I intend to spend every hour of every day for the rest of my life. For however long or short that may be. So, Penny sniffles, you're really going to leave? Leave us? Leave the ranch? Melody nods. Yeah. If I was sure that Walt would be fine and dandy on his own, I might leave, but I know he appreciates the company. So you'll rather take the risk that you'll get infected than being on the safe side? There's no safe side, Melody says. Not really. I want to be able to go and see my family. I can't imagine not seeing them again. And until the virus is either eradicated or everyone is immune, I don't want to just stay here. No offense. I love this ranch like it was my own, but I love my family more. Penny nods slowly. Understandable. I get that, Kenny says, but what if you get infected? If I get infected, I get infected. And if I die from the virus, then at least I will die surrounded by family. Are you sure your family wants you to come visit them if you're sick? Melody nods. Yeah. She shrugs and with a small sheepish smile she adds, maybe I should have told you sooner, but they've already got it. And if my old folks don't survive this, I don't want our last conversation to be over the phone. I want to hug them, really be there with them, you know. Penelope nods. I know, and I get it, but we don't want to take any unnecessary risks until it's safe. What if it's never safe? Melody asks. Are you just going to stay here all alone for the rest of your lives? Kenny grimaces but doesn't say anything. Penny swallows visibly and nods. Yeah, I guess. It's our choice. We have to be careful. We have to protect each other and the ranch. Once all of this has blown over, we'll consider what to do at that time. Melody shrugs. I figured that that's how you feel about this, and it's valid. I get it. But it's just not the choice I want to make. I figured that if I go and get the virus at my parents' house, I might as well stay here for a bit and help Walt. If he infects me, then at least I won't have to worry about getting infected when I go into town. But more importantly, my folks don't need to worry about infecting me. Kenny nods and sends her a small, sad smile. He looks at Penny and she seems to read his mind. It's okay. We understand and accept your decision. We just hope that all of this will be over soon so that you can come back to us. Not because we need you, and not because you need the job, but because you want to. Melody nods. Sure. If I make it out of this because I'm immune, I'll definitely come back. I can't leave this big ranch to you alone, especially not come springtime." "Oh God!" Kenny exclaims. "Let's hope that this is over by next spring, hopefully sooner." Penny smiles softly. "Agreed. I can't imagine having to go for longer than this like this." That's literally what the text says, but there's something wrong with this. I'm not quite sure what to rephrase that as, but I hope you get the meaning. I have underlined it on my page here and made an exclamation mark and a question mark in the margin. So I will look at that later, but I hope you get it, as I said. But back to the story. "Why not?" Melody shrugs and adds. "I mean, you said it yourself. Your lives now aren't that different from your lives before." "True." Penny nods and sends Melody a small smile. "But like you, I have family and friends too that I want to visit, and who I want to be able to come visit us." Kenny makes a sound that's a mix between a sniffle and a snort. Both Melody and Penelope look at him. "What? Don't look that strange at me. It's not my fault that I'm a loner with no family." "But you're my loner," Penelope says, kissing his cheek. "No matter what, you'll always have me." "You promise that?" "Yes." Penelope nods and kisses his cheek again. Smiling, she says, "I promised you that when we got hitched." She holds up her hand, showing off her dirty and scratched up wedding ring. "Remember?" "I remember," Kenny says. His eyes narrow a bit and he cocks his head. "I don't remember the ring being that dirty and scuffed, though." Penelope blushes. With a shrug, she says, "I'm a hard-working woman. What else can I say?" Kenny laughs. Even Melody smirks a little. The sound of a car engine grows louder and Melody takes a deep breath. "I guess that's my cue. I'd better go back. Walt probably doesn't want me to tell you this, but he's not always doing that well. And not just because of his heart condition, but because of his back. It seems to hurt a lot sometimes. I often help him in the morning until his muscles are warmed up and he can move without hurting too much." "Oh," Penny says, "I didn't have a clue." "I'm glad you didn't," Melody says. "Just forget I told you." "But we can't forget it," Kenny says. "First the news about his heart and now his aching back. He should have told me. Us. He should have said something so I wouldn't ask him to work that hard." "Trust me," Melody says. "He doesn't want you to know. In fact, I think it's a good thing you didn't know. He's a proud man. He claims that hard work makes the pain more bearable. Working hard trains his back muscles and that seems to make things better. If he doesn't move that much for a day or two, his back gets stiff and the pain gets worse. So please, don't act like you know." "I promise I won't tell him that I know," Kenny says. Penny nods. "I promise it too." "Good." Melody's face brightens in a small smile. Once he's out of isolation, he'll get back to work in a heartbeat. Kenny smiles warmly at Melody. "I don't doubt it." Melody nods and smiles at both of them. Without any invitation, she bends down and picks up the box that Penelope prepared for her and Walt. Melody takes the box with her, and as Penelope opens the door for her, Walt has parked the car and is walking toward his and Melody's house. "He's back," Kenny states. "It seems like he's doing all right." "Yeah," Penny says, nodding. "Hopefully the heart medicine helps." "Yeah, let's hope so. If he needs a new prescription, I hope that he'll be able to get it himself." "Me too." Penelope hugs Kenny sideways as they both look at Melody and Walt, who walk back to their place. As Walt and Melody go inside, Penny adds in a low voice, "I wish that he hadn't needed to go and get it checked out, but I think he needed to see the doctor. Maybe there's more going on with his health than we know. Melody knew about Walt's bad back and we didn't even know that." Kenny nods. "I know. I feel bad about it too, but there's nothing we can do." He needed to see the doctor. No one could go to the doctor in his place. Penny sniffles. From what I've heard, the doctor isn't doing that well. What if he dies? Then we'll have no doctor out here anymore, and we'll need to either not see a doctor at all or go into town. Kenny clenches his jaw. No one is going to need a doctor, not if I can help it. Penny hugs him tighter, holding her breath. Melody balances the box against her leg and waves with the other. Penny and Kenny wave back, and when Walt notices them waving, he waves at them too, before he closes the door. Kenny and Penelope pull back from the door and close the front door too. He didn't look happy, Penny says, thinking out loud. Kenny clears his throat. I was thinking the same thing, but hey, you know how I look when I've been to the doctor. Penny nods. Kenny definitely wasn't fond of having to call the doctor about his leg. Fortunately, that went well. It's too bad that the doctor got sick, and it's only a slight comfort that he got sick after having been to the ranch. I'm sad that Melody wants to leave, but at least she'll keep Walt company for a while. Yes, Kenny says. I was thinking... Yeah? What if after Melody has gone back to her family and Walt is virus-free, ask Walt to come and live with us? Really? But don't you like the peace and quiet and just being the two of us sometimes? I do. Kenny smiles at her and pulls her close. But Walt is like family too. He's always been there for me. After Melody has left, he'll be all alone in that house. My parents set it up that way, but no one says that we need to keep living separately. Penny nods. She thinks about it for a moment, then smiles. You know what? I think I actually like that idea. You do? Yeah. It only goes for Walt, though. I like Melody a lot too, but she's more like an employee. If she comes back in the spring, I would prefer if she and Walt live in their own house again. Sure, Kenny nods. I'll make sure to tell Walt that. 1 week later, a black hearse drives off with Walt in the back. Penelope and Kenny watch the vehicle roll down the dirt road away from the house. No fuss. No family or friends other than them and Melody to see him off. With their heads bowed, they cry. As the hearse has vanished out of view, Kenny says, I hate this. I hate that I couldn't be there for him in the way he deserved. Me too, Penelope says. It was lucky that they could get someone to pick up the body. If they hadn't been able to find someone who was willing to take the risk, they would have had to call someone else, and then they could be sure there'd be a fuss, but not in the way they wanted. People in protective suits would have shown up and treated Walt like toxic waste or something and not a person. Even though he was infectious, he didn't deserve that. Yet Kenny and Penny stand there, somewhat regretting staying that much away from him. Melody is present too, crying just like them. Unlike Penny and Kenny, she was actually there for him. Melody keeps at a safe distance from Kenny and Penelope, or else it would all have been for nothing. The chance that she hasn't gotten the virus is very slim. Penny sniffles and Kenny moves beside her. Melody turns to face them. In a clear voice, she says, Looks like it's time for me to leave. I've already packed a couple of bags. Are you really going to leave now? Yes, Melody nods. I might as well. If I leave now, I can be at my parents' by dinner time. Penelope smiles, a small smile in spite of everything. You're really trying hard to hold on to normalcy. Yeah, Melody shrugs. If that turns out to be a mistake, it'll be a mistake I've made on my own. Don't feel bad for me. This is my choice. Okay, Kenny nods. If that's what you want, we won't stand in your way. No, Melody says. I know you won't. You're too scared of catching the virus, so you will walk away from me and not stand in my way. Kenny smirks. Yeah, I guess you're right. Without another word, Melody turns around and walks into the house she's lived in with Walt. A few minutes later, she comes back outside, bags packed and ready. She doesn't have her own car. Under other circumstances, she would call a cab, but now that Walt is gone and doesn't need his truck, she's going to borrow it. He won't mind now that he's dead, but even if he were alive, she would be welcome to use his truck. As she drives off, Kenny and Penny stand there watching the truck drive out of view. "Well," Penny says, "looks like it's just you and me now." Kenny nods. He hugs her and kisses her cheek. "If the circumstances weren't that sad, I'd be excited to hear you say that." "Me too," Penny says. "I don't really feel like in the mood to take advantage of her solitude." Kenny shakes his head with a sad smile. "Me neither." They walk back inside the house in silence. That was chapter 4. I hope you liked this chapter too. So the virus is spreading, or it has spread, and now my characters really feel the consequences of that. So the virus will be a thing for a little while yet, but the story will shift. If you have watched my previous, or some of my previous writing related videos, and my writing vlogs especially, then you will know that this story is about more than just a virus. So it's about a lot of things, but I hope in any case that you will watch the next video, and that is when I will read chapter 5 out loud to you. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you will watch the next one. Until then, take care. Thank you for watching.